Here we go. I don't know how the song goes, but welcome to the Sci-Fi Express Lane. Jeff Carroll, sci-fi writer, filmmaker, comic book man, you name it. I'm out here, I guess, political activist, former political activist, whatever you want to call it. I never really wore it as a title. I just did it as my civic duty. But there's a lot of things that you do that are in your nature that you don't really take the title for. And today I want to talk about something that is probably just in my nature. As much as I like to put it on other people, I don't know if it's in their nature. I've had to talk to people about my particular feeling and see if I'm on point, if I'm a little ahead of the game, a little behind the game, right or left. And it is what it is. So today I want to talk about sci-fi role in progress in America. Let me say that. I know that's a really broad thing, but I'm like a week after the election, and I was a Kamala supporter, no doubt, but I'm here in America, and I lived through the first Trump 4 years, and whatever gotta go on, we'll make it through the next. So I'm not crying it ain't doomsday, but I will say, right, first of all, I don't think it'll go back to 1950. That's ridiculous. We got too many Hakeem Jeffries and Raz Barakas and diversity of mentalities throughout the American government for them to legislate any type of thing as severe as segregation. It's going to get a little different than it was under Kamala and Joe Biden and Barack Obama, but it is what it is. I don't even think it's going to be as bad as what people think it is. However, part of my optimism, ability to deal with certain things, comes from my futuristic mentality. I've heard other writers front load their comments and their opinions with their credentials, and I'll just run down a few of mine that I think is worthy. I started working with the civil rights movement at the age of 15, the NAACP, became the president of the youth council, went on to be in the youth advisor, worked all the way up to the top level till I was in my 30s in the youth division as a youth work committee advisor, and worked under Reverend Jamal Bryant. Before him, I was in there before him, way before him. But I worked on the youth board with him and Jeff Johnson. Both know me. I'm not even, blowing it. I actually represented Reverend Jamal Bryant in the college market. My civil rights then continued, working with Reverend Sharpton, working with Jesse Jackson, all the way up, to this last few Rainbow Push Coalition conventions. I had artists and people performing there, brought Shang there, with my partner Stanley Neron, who does not say anything other than he could be the mayor of his city, if it wasn't for term limits. But he's a political person. I worked with Raz Baraka before he was in the position he's in now. And of course, Raz knows me, but it ain't Raz, it's the whole Black Nia Force, and that's the activism. I had Hakeem Jeffries on my pilot for a talk show that I wanted to do in a barbershop because I knew him. So, I also majored in history, been to Egypt, been to Africa multiple times, studied under Dr. Ben. To me, that's like the greatest, Dr. Clark here in America. Mentors is Dr. Jeffries, Dr. James, Professor James Small. That's my credentials, right? So what do I say? I'm an English school teacher, right? 12th grade. That's me right now. I think having been kind of a late bloomer into science fiction, got into it in the early 2000s, in my 30s, and this was before black sci-fi was really a thing. Stephen Barnes and L.A. Banks was my first two that I got into. I got turned on to Octavia Butler right after that, so it was like quick windows. And to me, science fiction is a political tool. It is a tool for social commentary, but for me, I see a lot of people writing what I would say Tyler Perry level fun sci-fi, and I get it, we see these things, and people have gotten sci-fi from the movies, right? And I watched Star Wars. I went to the movie theater in '77 with my father, so I remember that experience, feeling that I was flying a TIE fighter because it was that consuming. But to me, that wasn't what sci-fi was. I remember seeing Starship Troopers in the theaters with my friend. We was standing. I remember exactly where we were standing when we saw them take over the base. That's still like one of my top 5 sci-fi movies. I'm definitely gonna put it there. But even all of that, it never, motivated me to write. What motivated me to write was understanding what Planet of the Apes was. Let me just say that as one of the movies, right? Planet of the Apes being a political commentary, analogy of the world that we lived in. One of my favorite sci-fi franchises, brands. I liked the 64 Star Trek series with Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner, and Nicole Nichols. Why did I like all that? Because what they were bringing was a different political conversation with every story. So when I'm, whether it's Jules Verne's, whether it's I, Robot, whether it is, what's another good one? I don't care. It could be Independence Day, right? They're bringing another point of view to the conversation that's in the world. When I think of sci-fi, I think of Foundation, right? I think of Foundation. I don't know if y'all know these names, right? But these aren't just, he met a girl in space and they traveled to another planet. Heck, I see more in Valorian than I see in a lot of the sci-fi that's written today. People don't have a ideology. They don't have a political position. What's another one? So I was watching an interview with Sophia, the mother of the Matrix, regardless of whether you believe that she wrote the Matrix or it was stolen from her. I don't believe it was, but it might have been inspired by a story. I will say I like her ideology, her mentality, right? Her philosophy. She wanted to write a story, whether it's her story or not, that was a forewarning story to the world. That's a bold thing to try to do. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. Regardless of, she wrote her own version of The Matrix and Terminator, and I have not bought it. I don't even think I will, but I do respect her because she's just very religious. And, it's like Battlefield Earth. I don't like the religious preachiness in my sci-fi. I like my sci-fi to be straight speculation. Give me Ender's Game, those type of things. I like Avatar with the blue people. Give me that analogy that's out there. But a lot of sci-fi writers, even black sci-fi writers, I say even the black ones, y'all not escaping it. My own people, they'll write just fundamental space people drama. And that's beautiful. I love the people drama. I wrote Gold Digger Killer. That's my thing, right? But space is not that place. Space is a different thing. Space is the core of science fiction. So when we look at where we are in the world today, we need to speculate. This world, to me, is, or not say world, but America We still got white people that's scared of black people, that's scared of the future of being minorities. You know, when were they ever the majority? They act like they the Earth's majority. They not even the Earth's majority. So what the heck are they scared of? When has Africa, with its big majority population, its advanced civilizations, its head start on the world, ever invaded Europe? When? To dominate and destroy them? No, sir. So to me, that is BS. But they put it out in movies. They make you think, oh my God, look what they did in the Planet of the Apes. The apes was locking up humans the way humans locked up black people and locked up animals. That analogy in the first Planet of the Apes is telling on two levels, right? But no, that's their projection of what we'll do. And it's not what we'll do. We've already been in charge of the planet. We've already had civilizations. South Central Americans had civilization long before Beowulf was written, or before the Beowulf poem was even talked about. And that's like the transition from Anglo-Saxons coming out of the caves, or wherever they lived, the tree houses, the wood houses, or whatever, before they had written language, right? Before there was English. You had Olmec statues. You had Aztec. You had the Incas. You had all that. The Tainos. You had the Cherokee, right? And they still worried about it. So, what role can we all play as science fiction writers to address these misconceptions? You know, they're scared that robots are going to take over. You know, oh, AI, this iRobot. We got to come up with laws for robots so they don't hurt us. Come on, y'all. Skynet is coming. No. So, what do I feel about all this? I feel like, for me, all of my stories coming up are really just political commentaries, you know. I don't say I escape having some entertainment in my stories, you know, but I always fall back to a message. I mean, whether it's my first one, Thug Angel, Rebirth of a Gargoyle, there's a message in there. There's at least it's a Man on Fire type story. But then I have one in my Negro Mountain, all my little short stories in Sci-Fi Streets. You know, I just go back, you know. My biggest message one recently is the Harlem Shake series. I wrote that because black people and people of color, you know, don't do anything to prepare on a level that they can, you know. We do our level of preparation, and there's really nothing to be scared of in a post-hurricane apocalypse. But, you know, one of these movie theater devastated world joints that maybe our world is going towards with the storms and stuff is something, you know, that's concerning. But we need to speculate, and I always say this, we need to speculate more about space. I can't wait for this space funk book to come out, because I don't want no Tyler Perry's in space. And there's nothing wrong, let me get it wrong, I love Tyler Perry, I respect him, but in terms of science fiction, you got to come better than, you know, Shakespearean mother-father drama, you know what I'm saying? You know, the Oval Office, Sisters, got to come harder than that, you know, and we got to do it. So space is a different place. So anyway, I just want to say that. I know I've rambled, but space is, and science fiction is at its best when it's offering a commentary to something useful and productive to society. That's really it. You know what I'm saying? You don't see sci-fi space stories with some serial killer jumping from planet to planet. You know, you might see that now because sci-fi has gotten watered down, but sci-fi is a speculation place. Think of that William Shatner, you know, and there's more than just half black, half white people, you know, so it's more than that. And, you know, but yeah, read some old 70s, 60s science fiction, you know, you got to dodge the racism. But read those. Anyway, Jeff Carroll out. Like, subscribe, share, comment. You know, I get more comments on Facebook than I get on the original YouTube. So I post these on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Peace.